Hello my country people, welcome back to the news. No be small thing dey happen for Labour Party o. The Supreme Court has thrown out the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which had earlier affirmed Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party. Delivering the ruling on Friday, today, a five-member panel of the Apex Court held that the appellate court had no jurisdiction to meddle in the party's leadership tussle. And according to the judges, the matter was strictly an internal party affair, one that courts have no business adjudicating. That the verdict effectively ended Abure's claim to the Labour Party's national leadership, throwing the party into further chaos. And before this Supreme Court decision, the Court of Appeal had ruled in January that Abure remained the Labour Party's national chairman. The appellate court had reasoned that the leadership of a political party was beyond judicial intervention, dismissing the lower court ruling by one Justice Emeka Nweti of the Federal High Court, which had previously invalidated Abure's position. However, the Supreme Court now has overridden that judgment, reinforcing that the leadership dispute within a political party cannot be resolved through the judiciary. So with this latest ruling, the Labour Party currently is left in turmoil as the fight for control of its leadership rages on. But in a surprising fresh twist, the Labour Party also dismissed this report, confirming the Supreme Court removing Abure as the national chairman. So my country people, there is a lot of confusion going on in the Labour Party. The Labour Party recently came out to deny the viral report regarding a Supreme Court ruling that nullified the recognition of Julius Abure as its national chairman as false, that the news report is false. And according to Dr. Arabambi Abayomi, the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, who addressed the issue, affirming that the Supreme Court ruling in question had no impact on the party's leadership, that it had no impact at all, that it is only political parties that have the authority to determine their leadership, that the judiciary has no authority whatsoever to interfere in internal affairs of political parties. So the court's decision does not hold any weight. So the Labour Party leadership also reaffirmed that Julius Abure remains the duly recognized national chairman, with Alhaji Farouk Umar Ibrahim as the national secretary. They claim that what the Supreme Court said is not true, and that they even called out to their Labour Party supporters to disregard the misinformation that has been circulating online and to remain focused on the party's mission and leadership. And I ask myself, what is really going on in the Labour Party? Because nobody really knows what's happening. Bit by bit, the Labour Party is going out of, relevance. Like, they are no longer politically relevant anymore. After the 2023 elections, we don't know what's happening in the Labour Party. It has been from one political crisis to another, from one leadership tussle to another, from one issue to another. We don't really know if it's the plot of the APC to weaken the opposition political party, or if the Labour Party itself has its own, issues that is weighing them down. Yes, my country people, if they have their own personal issues that is weighing them down, because we know that internal party affairs is not something the judiciary should be giving judgment over. But the Nigerian judiciary has turned something else. They tend to give judgment on almost everything. So long as it happens in Nigeria, they tend to give judgment. The judiciary is always quick to give judgment, even on party internal affairs. They are always using the judiciary to give one silly judgment or another. So my country people, make una come shook mouth for this matter. It's really, confusing, because at this point, the Labour Party is saying the Supreme Court did not say anything. That means they don't regard what the Supreme Court had said. According to them, Nigerians should dismiss the report. Because earlier on, it was reported that the Supreme Court sacked Julius Abure as the Labour Party chairman and nullified the appeal court's ruling. And this got many people talking. How come the Supreme Court, sacked Julius Abure? Why is it that judges are being used to, to give one political judgment or another? What was the reason that prompted the Supreme Court to give judgment? So it's just confusing. Now, Nigerian politicians have pocketed so many justices, so many judges in this country. They are always using them for one political judgment or another. The crisis of the Labour Party started after the 2023 election. It started first of all with the issue of fund management. It started off with the issue of fund management. They were asking Obi for campaign funds and all of that. And then it got to leadership tussle. Peter Obi, Alex Oti, and other persons could not even solve these tiny problems in the Labour Party. To an extent, Kenneth Okonkwo had to leave the Labour Party because it was too much. The crisis was too much. The rancor was too much. They couldn't comport themselves. So what is really going on? We don't know if this is a plot from the APC to disorganize the Labour Party, or if it's just another kangaroo judgment from the Supreme Court. But here we have the Labour Party saying that Nigerians should disregard this issue. And we don't even know how this case even got to the Supreme Court. These are political matters. These are party affairs. So why is the Supreme Court interfering? Why are they taking this issue to court? So my country people, make una come shook mouth for this matter. A lot is really going on. Many people are projecting that these are just political calculations, political strategies that aims to favor Tinubu ahead of 2027. Probably it's a trap, or it's a game being played by some powerful forces against the Labour Party. So guys, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comments section. Thank you.